Welcome to another episode of Swoop Luke. In this episode, we'll be looking at the uncontracted players for 2026. Let's get into it. So before we jump straight into it, thank you so much for everyone that's jumped on board to become a Swoop Luke member. There's about 30 of you, and look, I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. You all are amazing. Thank you so much. You can still sign up if you haven't already. The link is down below. But if you can't afford it or anything like that, that's no stress. There's no paywalls or anything. All the videos will still be up on YouTube. But there is also the Swoop Luke website, swoopluke.au, where you can submit articles, submit photos of yourself, create that Magpie Army fan zone. All the links are in the description below. So again, thank you so much if you have joined up. I really do appreciate it. And your membership packs with the key ring, this hat, or the t-shirts, or the bucket hat, whatever you ordered is coming soon. I get all the stickers and all the envelopes tomorrow, so I'm very excited for that. But let's get into this video. Now, this is a very early video, and it's on the back of Charlie West signing a 2-year contract extension, taking him to 2028. Now, that is incredible. He was out of contract for 2026.
Charlie, might start with you. Congratulations on, re-signing. What was behind that decision, and how excited are you to put pen to paper?
No, it was very exciting. As soon as I saw the contract come through, I was like, yeah, it was a no-brainer. I just love this club and just want to spend as much time as I can there. So, yeah.
He goes into 2026, 27, and 28 with a contract behind him, and there's a big Brody Myercheck shaped hole in the forward line that I hope somewhere through this year he can fill. He's been looking just really good, especially in that VFL season. Kicked a bag of 6, 5, that goal after the siren. Debuts against West Coast, kicks that goal, then obviously injures his foot, doesn't play the rest of the season. Just a typical Collingwood injury, just an unfortunate injury, but I'm envisioning a really big 2026 for him. I don't think he starts straight away in the side. We'll maybe work up to it, especially with Jack Buller coming in as well. I think he takes Brody Myercheck's spot right at the start, but I'm hoping Charlie West does break into the side, because I guess we have got such big raps on this guy, and I am so keen to just see him go about it, and he gets to do it for another 2 years and doesn't have to worry about a contract. Now, I say this is a very early video because there are 13 uncontracted players going into 2026, and I want to create a tier list of who resigns, retires, 50-50, and playing for a contract. Now, it's going to be hard because we don't know the form of anyone going in. There are a lot of over 30s that are uncontracted for 2026, so without further ado, let's get into it. So I am using a tier maker to create this tier. What I use all the time. I highly recommend if you want to create tiers and stuff, this is a really good website for it. This is not a plug or sponsored or anything like that. I just really like this website. Now you can see all the players there. I don't know. I'm not going to start. Oh, no, I'm not going to start with Pendlebury. We'll start with the younger players first and go from there. Well, actually, let's start with Billy Frampton. Now, Billy Frampton will be 29. He'll be turning 30 in November next year. So he's on the cusp of being 30. He's uncontracted. I think Billy Frampton re-signs 1 year, maybe 2 years. I'd honestly give him a 2-year deal. We don't have that big key fullback. Yes, we got Reef or Cochrane or TJ, but they're half-backers. Reef is a third intercepting sort of defender that will take Jeremy Howe's spot. We don't have a big key fullback, and I hope that does get addressed somewhere next year. I don't think it'll be the mid-season draft because we don't have any list spots. That's why we don't have any train-on players for the SSP players that we've seen all the other clubs have at the moment. So I do think Billy Frampton signs on for 1 or 2 years, hoping that it's 2, but hoping that we can pick up someone. If it's not in the trade period or delisted free agency period, in the draft, that we can build up as a big key fullback, because you really do need these big players. Because when Billy Frampton went down, we had to send Dan McStay back, and that just didn't really work. Could Dan McStay move into the back line? I don't think so. But, the world is our oyster, especially during preseason. Something to keep an eye on. Next, we've got Tim Membry. Now, Membry is going to be 32 by the start of the season. I think he's going to retire. That's my really early call. I love Memory. I love everything about him. He just exceeded expectations last year, and he really does complement our list really well and just our playing side really, really well. But with the emergence of, or grabbing Jack Buller, the emergence of Charlie West, then you're going to have Zach McCarthy in a few years. Noah Howes is there as well. I really do think that's yeah, this might be Membry's last year. But again, you don't want too many players retiring at the same time, because we know what happens with North Melbourne when they had all those really older players retire, really stuffed them up. Same with sort of Richmond when they got rid of a bunch of older players and all this sort of stuff. But I think Membry is one that I've got penciled in for retiring. We will see how he goes throughout the season, though. The next one is Lucky Sullivan signed a contract extension. I've got him as a 50-50 to either be off the list or get another contract extension. It's all about, can he break into this team? Now, our midfield is stacked at the moment. We bring in 3 extra midfielders from the draft. So he is sitting out a little bit, but I like him as a role player. He's still on the good side of the age profile. So I wouldn't mind him getting another year, but it also just determines how many games does he play this season and can he crack into the side. Will Parker, I've got Will Parker re-signing. Surprised he hasn't already yet. I assume talks will be ongoing and stuff like that. I've got Will Parker signing on for another 2 years. He's still a Cap B rookie. Will Parker, in that Adelaide game, that first, or not the first one, the second one of the season, when he played as that small backman, I loved him. That was the perfect position for him, and it really released Josh, Houston, even Quaynor it released as well. So I think we can make him into a really, really good small backman. And we don't have small backs. Braden Maynard can play on that smaller sort of back, but again, Braden Maynard's getting older in age. Will Parker is in that good age demographic, so I've got Will Parker re-signing. The next one is Jacob Ryan. Now, Jacob Ryan has battled a couple of injuries, a couple of form issues, mainly injuries in the 2025 season. I think he is playing for a contract. I guess playing for a contract and 50-50 are the same, but we're just going to keep him as playing for a contract and 50-50. Because if he doesn't get a lot of games this year, and he can't crack into that half back line, which is probably his only position at the moment, I think he does find his way off the Collingwood list, unfortunately. The next one is Noah Howes, our mid-season draftee. I've got Noah Howes as 50-50. Now, Noah Howes, towards the end of the 2025 VFL season, they chucked him in the back line a little bit, and he's built as a big forward, obviously, but he looks like he can play back if we need him to. I wouldn't mind him adding another feather to his hat if he can be that backman. Like I said, with Billy Frampton there, we do need another key fullback. So maybe Noah Howes, if he can prove himself as a backman, gets another year. I don't think it'll be 2 years, maybe another year to see him develop as a backman, kind of like Reef. When Reef got that contract extension, it was his last roll of the dice. They chucked him in the back line, and he was doing phenomenally well until he did his ACL. So I've got Noah Howes as 50-50. Ed Allen, I think... Now, I've got Ed Allen as re-signing, right? I think he's going to be in the best 23. I said it at the start of last year that Ed Allen would be best 23 by the end of 2025. It didn't. He was in there for most of the year, wasn't in there towards the end of 2025, so I was kind of wrong, kind of right on that one. But I want him to resign. He is a great player. He's already developed a lot, and he is really Steele Sidebottom's natural successor on that wing. But if he doesn't get opportunities, I think he will go somewhere else for an opportunity. I don't think he'll be off an AFL list completely. Could go to WA. So I wouldn't say no to that possibility of something like that happening if he doesn't get an opportunities this season. But if he does, I have him re-signing for at least 2 or 3 years as our second up winger once Steele Sidebottom is done. Iluru Smith. He's an interesting one. I got him as 50-50. Now, I know we don't have a lot of ruckmen at the moment, right? Darcy Cameron, Oscar Steen are your out-and-out rucks. You can't say Iluru Smith is an out-and-out ruck, but before his injury last season, he was playing as a centre half back. Now, not a big fullback like Billy Frampton, but was playing as a centre half back. It was a very new role for him, so it's too early to say how he was going in there. I like some of the stuff he was doing. More often than not, he was getting caught out, but I like that the coaches are chucking him in the back line to see how he goes. I'm very interested to see where he lines up during the preseason, if they're going to commit to him being a backman and then a part-time ruck. So that's why I've got him as 50-50. I wouldn't mind him signing on for another year. I don't think his goal this year is to play, 5 or 6 games. It might be to debut if we need that ruckman, but I want to see him in the VFL, want to see him in preseason, want to see him in those preseason match simulations, all that sort of stuff, if they're going to persevere with him as a backman or solely in the ruck. Fifth last guy here is Joel Cochran. Resign straight away. I'm going to give Joel Cochran 2 years. One of our draftees from 2024, the draft class with Charlie West, the draft class with Will Hayes. This guy just ran third or equal third in the yo-yo test that was taken out by Rowan Steele. To be a halfback defender who can mark really well, is a great intercept marker, great use of the ball, will need to develop a little bit in size. And in these 2 preseason trainings that I've been to, he has gotten a little bit bigger, which we love. We know that these big guys take time to develop. He's only not even a whole, it would be a year into his AFL career. So I'm re-signing him. But in saying that, as a defender, to have the endurance of a midfielder is absolutely crazy. In the VFL, they put him on the wing to test him out there, making him play these different positions. So I love Cochran. I'm gonna re-sign him for literally 2 or 3 years if that was me. Now it comes down to brass tacks. Is that the saying? There are 4 guys there, all over 30. Jeremy Howe will be 36 by year's end. Steele Sidebottom will be 36 in January. Scott Pendlebury would be 39 in January. And Jack Crisp will be 33 by year's end. This is a hard one. I've already got Tim Membry retiring. Let's start with Jeremy Howe. Signed a contract extension. I think this is Jeremy Howe's last year, unfortunately. I think he does retire at the end of the year. We'd love to see him retire with another premiership, but I think he does retire at the end of the year. We do have a lot of players, maybe not a lot, a handful of players that can hopefully succeed him in that role. You're looking at a Cochran. You're looking at maybe an Iluru Smith, but definitely Reef McGuinness as well. And TJ's there as well as those intercept marking halfback flankers. So I do think it is his last year. I do think it is last year. I think this year is going to be a very, very sad year for a number of reasons, but Jeremy Howe retiring is going to be one of them. The next guy is Jack Crisp. I think 50-50. What did I say how old he's going to be? 33 at the end of the year. Nah, Jack Crisp, he's played 10, 11 years straight. There's no way he doesn't get at least another year. You don't want to get rid of all your experience at the same time. I cannot emphasize that enough. So I've got Jack Crisp signing on for another year. And, oh God, this is hard. I think Steele Sidebottom is 50-50. 50-50 to retire, 50-50 to re-sign on for another year. I think it'll all come down to if he can keep up. He said numerous times towards the end of this season, or 2025 season, that he feels like he can't keep up. He feels like he is still able to give everything to the club and to the team. But when his time comes, he's going to walk away from football before football walks away from him. So I genuinely have him as a 50-50. And in saying that, I'm going to put Jacob Ryan as 50-50 as well. And I'm going to delete this, that playing for a contract, because 50-50, we know what 50-50 is, right? You're either on the list or you're not on the list. That's what 50-50 is going to be. Now, the last one, Scott Pendlebury. 39 in January, will break the all-time VFL AFL most games record. That's a given. Does he stay on or does he go? Can he play? I think it'll be incredible if he goes on another season and plays until he's 40 or plays in his 40s. Was Sean Burgoyne in his 40s when he finished, or early 40, or was he 39? I can't really remember, but Sean Burgoyne was the last player that I can think of that was pretty much around Pendlebury's age when he finished up. I'm sorry. I have Pendlebury retiring at the end of this year. Out of those three, Pendles, Howe, and Steele, I have Pendlebury and Howe definitely retiring at the end of the year. I don't want it to happen. I can't think of Collingwood without Scott Pendlebury in the team. But I do have him retiring at the end of 2026, breaking the all-time record. He will be a Hall of Famer, no doubt, but I do have him retiring at the end of 2026. Now, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you think will happen with these players? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, become a member. Links are down below. Double shackers. I'll swoop you later. Floriette Pika.